Hey guys, welcome back to Cruising with Matthew, and in my 7th episode of my P&O Oceana vlog series, I'm going to tell you all about our visit to Las Palmas, which is on the island of Gran Canaria. This was our second port visit in the Canary Islands, and I really hope that you enjoy this. So as I'd had a few early starts on our way to the Canary Islands, unfortunately it meant that I was quite tired, so I didn't actually see the sail into Gran Canaria. However, when I woke up, I decided to have a walk around the ship to take a look at our surroundings. So as I made my way onto the promenade and went to the back of the ship, I had a bit of a surprise because staring right at me was a pair of eyes and lips painted onto the front of the bow, and unsurprisingly it was a Ada ship, and this was actually Ada Stella, which had been following us since our visit in Tenerife the day before. Now, looking across the port, we realised that there was also another ship docked, and that was Mein Schiff 3. Now, Mein Schiff 3 is owned by the German cruise line TUI and should not be mistaken for Marella Cruises, which is the English equivalent, and they have ships such as Marella Explorer and things like that. So it was definitely looking like it was going to be a really nice hot sunny day. So after meeting up with Zoe at the buffet, we decided that we wanted a nice relaxing beach day. And looking at our map, we realised that Las Palmas, which is where we were docked in Gran Canaria, was a perfect spot for this, so we decided to get off the ship and walk our way to the beach. Although we got off early in the morning, you realised that it was already quite warm, so I was very glad that I put on some sun cream. And the journey to the main beaches in Las Palmas really didn't take long from the port at all. It probably took about 10-20 minutes walking at quite a leisurely pace, and we really just had a lovely relaxing day, because we probably walked several miles up and down the beach, taking in the wonderful views, and we also got to experience some of the Canary Islands' famous black sandy beaches. Although it wasn't a pure black sand beach, there were definitely some areas where there'd been deposits of black sand, so it was quite unique to be able to see that. Now, unfortunately for us, there's always quite a strong breeze coming off the Atlantic, which means that you never really realise how warm it is, especially when you're by the coast. So I think both me and Zoe became aware that we had caught the sun a little bit more than we had anticipated. We decided that we'd walk back to Oceana to cool off a bit and also have something to eat, with the intention of exploring a bit more of the city later on. As we walked back to the ship, we got some fantastic views of Ada Stella as well as Oceana and Mein Schiff 3, and it's really interesting, I think, when you get off in a port to actually see the difference in the different cruise lines and how their ships are built. And for someone who really likes looking at different cruise ships, this was my idea of heaven, because I haven't actually seen many German cruise lines on my travels prior to this. So as we boarded Oceana, we decided to have some lunch back in Cafe Jardin, and Zoe was feeling quite tired, so she went back to the cabin and I just sat reading on deck, because at this point it had actually got quite warm, and because of all the walking we'd done, we didn't think that we had much energy to do any more exploring on that day. So we were meant to leave the port at 5:30, so I came up on deck. However, the sun had been obscured by clouds, and it was amazing how quickly the temperature dropped, and it actually meant that I had to run back and get my jumper from my cabin. However, I'm glad I did get a jumper, because we were waiting for probably about half an hour to 45 minutes, and the captain let us know that they were actually waiting for a harbour pilot to come on board. Finally, the harbour pilot arrived and we were able to go on our way. Now, because it was quite windy and quite chilly at this point in time, a lot of people had gone back inside, but I'm really glad that I didn't, because we got some lovely views of the sun starting to set over Las Palmas, and also some brilliant views of Mein Schiff 3 and Ada Stella as we departed. I also took a few pictures of some slightly different vessels. There's a big maritime patrol vessel that went past us as we were waiting to leave, as well as one of the hydrofoils that I'd mentioned when we were docked in the port of Santa Cruz the day before. So that was really interesting to see, and as we sailed out, we also got to see the pilot boat heading back to the island as well. And there was a lot of industry around this area as well, so you had a lot of oil derricks as well as some tankers. So for someone who's very much into their shipping, I really enjoyed the sail out of Las Palmas. Now, after heading back to the cabin, we decided to get ready for the evening, and this evening we had a special themed night known as Tropical Night. This is something that I always enjoy, because you get to see everyone dress up in their loudest Hawaiian style shirts, or dresses, and most people really do get into it. The waiters all dressing up, even in the restaurants and in the bars, and it just gives a really nice atmosphere, especially when it is quite warm, which it was for the few days that we were in the Canaries. So this is always a favourite of mine, and I would recommend that if you are going on a longer cruise, especially to places like the Canaries, the Mediterranean or the Caribbean, and make sure you pack that Hawaiian shirt that you haven't worn for a few years. So after yet another lovely meal in the main dining room, we chatted the night away as per usual with John and Max and Steve and Diane, and we decided to head off for our evening entertainment. Now there was a tropical deck party on the Lido deck, but we decided that we wanted to do something a bit different, and we went to see the Oceana Orchestra performing music from the movies. Now this was something a bit different, and they performed a huge range of songs ranging from things like Star Wars to the Pink Panther, and they performed it absolutely brilliantly. And what made it even better was the fact that Rachel, who was in charge of the Oceana vocalist, was in the orchestra as well, so it was nice to support her given all the work that she had been doing for us throughout the cruise. So after this, we quickly went up on deck to have a look at the tropical night deck party, and it was certainly winding down at this point, but it was lovely to see a few late night dancers having fun, and also seeing Oceana's wonderful Lido deck area all lit up with a variety of LED coloured lights, which gave it a really nice atmosphere in my opinion. So I'd recommend that if you're a fan of dancing up on deck, that the tropical night deck party would be for you. Me and Zoe were definitely tired at the end of this, so we decided to go back to the cabin to be full of energy for our visit to Lanzarote. So that was my 7th episode in my P&O Oceana vlog series, and I really hope that you enjoyed it. In my next episode, I'll be talking about our final port visit in the Canary Islands, Lanzarote, and I'll be posting that next week hopefully, so do make sure that you tune in for that. If you want to know more about Cruising with Matthew, then take a look at some of my other social media channels. This will be the likes of Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and a Facebook group. The links are below, and I post in there daily, and I'd love to see you there. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, because it's always appreciated, and comment below if you want to ask me anything and I'll do my best to answer it. So I hope that you all have a fantastic week, and I shall see you in the next episode. So this is Cruising with Matthew, and thank you so much for watching.